So I wanted to talk today about call to serve. Okay. So Tuesdays are going to be my office hours. Okay. So since I worked with the military for 39 years, we can only see half of my face. Okay. In the same in the same in the same space most of the time. Yeah, that's a problem. I should switch to my desktop. I'm old school, so I'm stubborn. I refuse. I'm using this my iPad. So what I can do is try to change the orientation. Okay. Yeah, I know that's a problem because one of my last videos, half of my face was cut off, and I was really pissed off about it because I'm a perfectionist, and I don't like that, and I couldn't change the orientation before I posted it. Okay, I think I had went live with Coach Carey. Okay, yeah, I know, right? And I spent over an hour to try to change the orientation from portrait to landscape, and it wouldn't do it. So I like, screw it. Okay. So it is what it is. We have to find workarounds like everything else in life, right? So I was wanting to talk about call to serve. Okay. I realized as a young child, as most of us okay, that we have a calling in life. Okay. And I knew I was destined for greatness. Okay. I knew it, but I just didn't know specifically what that was. Growing up in the 1960s and having people like Rosa Parks and Eleanor Roosevelt and Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was so charismatic. He was one of my favorite. Growing up in the Baptist church, okay, it was all about using your voice. Most of the people during that time, they utilized their voice to talk about change that was required in the world that we lived and in all the injustices that we faced on a daily basis. Okay, the hymns that we sang in those churches about change. It's time for change to come. Okay, so through these hymns, through these voice, we were able to elevate among all of this injustice that we were facing. And we're faced with these same things at this given time. We have seen the world changing. We see more people coming to Substack to tell their personal stories to invoke this positive change in the world. Okay. So, what does that mean? It means a lot to different people. Okay. I tried to figure out what that was for me. Okay. Realizing that for so long, I could not even speak because nobody cared about what I had to say. They say, you don't have nothing that we want to hear. Okay. So now been given this platform, which is free, to come and tell our story. Okay. So people like you can come and listen and say, yeah, I experienced the same thing. How can we heal together? If we don't tell our stories, who's going to tell them? Right? Who's going to tell our stories? So that's why I see more and more people here on Substack. And so I'm like, okay, so what do I do? My role is to empower others, okay? Because there was people that helped me along my journey. Most of the people that I met, it wasn't in my family, okay? Because they were nowhere to be found. I found strangers like you all to uplift and help me to grow. Okay, so my role here is to pass the baton. Okay, to give you guys the tools and resources that you need from my lived experience, my knowledge, okay, and my gifts, and share it with you. So to give you the baton to go out there and say, yes, we're going to fight this fight. Okay, I'm not going to go out there and do that now because I gave the government 39 years. Okay, and so I'm sitting back now as a coach, as an advisor, as a consultant to find out what things you want to achieve. Okay, and we're going to figure out together how to do that. Okay, so I work. with teams my entire career. Okay, how can I utilize my goals? I mean, my skills to help you to grow. Okay, so we're talking about community building. Okay, everybody, I see a lot of people starting these healing circles, these connections to people, and I honestly want to do the same thing. Okay, now that I have decided I'm focusing on women and women's issues and the things that we want to rid ourselves of so we can become our best selves. Now, since I have said that this is what I'm going to do, it makes it easier for me to focus my content accordingly. Okay, so I'll be out there in the notes, and we're conversing together. That basically is the start of the funnel. Okay, we're here. We're gonna try to make some money while we're here. Let's keep it real. Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Okay, but it's not about the money for me because that's why I said I'm gonna give all my content for free. Okay, because this is part of my values. Okay, because it's about building community. Because if I can't win unless you win. Okay, we all coming together. What is your skill? Okay, what can you do well? Okay, we can sit down and have a conversation. Okay, and I'm developing these conversations in the notes, and I'm like, okay, you got a lot to say. Let's meet and let's figure out how we can strategize a conversation so we can bring like-minded individuals along with us. Okay, we need to wake people up. Okay, because this is a different world. We can't sit on our hands and do nothing. We got to do something. Period. Because we are each role models, each leaders. We are leading our families. We're leading our children. We're leading our grandchildren. We are writing our legacy every day. What you want to be said about you? What type of parent are you? What type of grandmother are you? We are the backbone of this country. We're the backbone of the families. If it wasn't for us, the family wouldn't be together. Okay? So we rewrite our story based on what we see and what we want. Okay? Because we don't put everybody's needs before our own. So, what is it today that we want to achieve? Personally, okay? Professionally, and so all of the decisions we make affect each member of our family and our community. Okay? So what does that say about us when we look into the world today? Are we part of the problem or you want to be part of the solution? Only you can decide that. Okay? But don't stand in my way. Okay? If you see me trying to uplift and if you don't want to be a part of that, that's okay. But stay over there and be quiet. Okay? That's the problem with this world today. A lot of people out there don't want to see us have nothing. So we have to eliminate those people. I done eliminated many people already. And I'm feeling free today because I realized some of those main people that call themselves my friends and my family, they were the ones that was the biggest person that was standing in the way. Well, why do you want to go back to school? Well, why do you want to work in the community? Well, what's wrong with us? There's nothing wrong with you. I just want to elevate myself where I am at this point in time in my life. And if you have a problem with that, let's talk about it. Because who was there to support you from the day one? Me. So really, you shouldn't have anything to say. You should be supporting me with whatever I tell you I want to do. And that's what we have to do. We have to take our power back. And I realized that, okay? It's like I work for this government system, okay? You asked me to do this job, okay? Then on top of that, then I got to kiss your butt on top of that. Then I got to adjust myself to your moods and your expectations. And then you say jump, I have to say how high. So in the meantime, we need to be putting ourselves together and figuring out, okay, what other skills do I have? Because I see these people are acting ignorant here. Okay. And you are really underestimating me and you're really trying my patience. So we always have to figure out other things that we can do. That's why I decided to become a certified coach. Okay. I've also, since I've got this publication going, I know how to run a publication. Okay. I taught myself how to do video editing, taught myself podcasting. So we have all of these additional skills. Most of us are multi-talented. We know how to do a multitude of things because we didn't have a choice, because they said, here, this is your job, this is what you got to do. We had to figure all of these things out. Okay, so we don't give ourselves enough credit. Okay, I was talking to a young lady earlier and she was telling me all the things that she does, and people don't want to pay her. I'm like, no, 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 no. Okay, no, time out for that. You want all this stuff, you're gonna have to pay for it. Period. I have to pay. The government is still waiting for me to pay that student loan for that master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology. Okay, they want $90,000, and it's continuing to add interest. Okay, and I'm like, I can't worry about that. I can't worry about that. I can't pay that. Okay, I can't pay that and pay everything else I got to pay. So we have to prioritize our time. We have to prioritize our money. We have to prioritize everything. Okay, because everything is falling on us. So why should I? So that means I have to prioritize. That means I got to cut some things out. Okay, and majority of the things you got to cut out when you got a family. They want you to cut everything out, that your stuff out. No, no. This is a two-way street. I don't just cut everything out. You got to cut some shit out too. Okay? Okay, because we is in this together. And that's the way it is. We have to call things out. Okay? So when we say call to serve, what does that mean? And what does that entail? Okay? Because our expectations are different. Okay, my expectations and your expectations is different. So how can we figure that out? Okay, how can we figure that out? Because I've been living in misalignment for a long time while everybody else was living their best life. They said, okay, I got to go over here and I got to go do this. I got to do this and I got to do that. So I'm going to leave this for you. No, you're not going to leave that for me. That's not my job. Okay? We got to start giving people their own stuff back. This is yours to carry, not mine. Okay? I'm not taking care of that. Because while you over here slaving like Cinderella, everybody else out there, living their best life and doing what they want. So we need to let people take ownership of their own things and we handle our own stuff. Handling our own stuff is really enough. Okay. We got children. We have to teach the child responsibility from the get go. Don't wait until the kid gets 13 or 14. That kid is damn near grown. And that kid will tell you, no, you've allowed me to do this whole time. Now all of a sudden you want to change. Oh, then your children get upset too when you start putting boundaries on them. Put the boundaries on them from the beginning. Okay? They have to learn. Don't wait until you get out in the world and then you get this adult that don't know how to respect nobody, don't know how to treat nobody. No, we can't have that. That's why this world is the way it is now. We have to change all of these things. And so um having these office hours on Tuesdays will give you an opportunity to ask any questions or anything like that. Because, like I said, I want to build this community. Okay, and I have paid subscribers, and I do meet with my paid subscribers. Okay, but I just never talked about it. So I want to put this out, formalized, and showing what's going to be free subscribers are going to get and what paid subscribers are going to get. Because, like I said, all the content is free. Okay. That's to bring people in to help to elevate and raise everybody up. Now, the other things that's going to be a part of the paid is a annual leadership audit. Okay. where I'm going to sit down and meet with every paid subscriber to figure out, okay, this is where I am. I'm on Island A, and so I want to get to Island B. We're going to talk about that. We're going to have four strategy sessions and to figure out what it is that you want to achieve within that year time frame. And I'm going to work with you to do that. Okay. I'm going to also be having, now that I've been doing all these audios and things like that, now I feel much more confident to do like a weekly video session, like uh publication roundup. Okay. And to give this information to paid subscribers. Okay. Have monthly Zoom brainstorming sessions. Okay. Where we can sit down and talk about the things that you want to try to figure out how to resolve. Okay, and talking about it during a brainstorming session, we get ideas from everybody in the group. Somebody might be like, "Oh, well, I think you should maybe try this or something," and that's also a way to to get to know everybody in the community, where you can potentially collaborate with. Okay, and so building this community is going to enable us to do a lot of things, okay? And to exchange ideas, okay? Maybe to do partnerships together. But mainly, I'm trying to get all the people in my community who wants to go live. Hey, get in contact with me. We can go live. But I would prefer to meet with the person first to make sure we have good chemistry, because I don't want to meet with somebody and we don't have good chemistry. And I tell you, each and every one of you that too. I went live with more people that never went live before. And I enjoy that because once you go live once, you're able to build upon that. Okay. So I'm all about empowerment. I'm not going to sit up and help you with to figure out how to write your article. That's not something that I'm passionate about. Okay. But if you want to go live, if you want to do something else business wise, I'm going to sit down and help you figure out, okay, what you want to do and how you want to do that. Okay. I have 39 years of experience in government contracting. I work with people all over the world. I lived overseas. I have a multitude of talents and skills, and I want to be able to utilize all of that to help my subscribers grow. The thing of it is, I always, my mother told me, if you give the cow, if you give the milk away, then the people ain't gonna buy the cow. Okay, so I'm like, okay, fine, but I know that a lot of people are limited with money. Okay, as well. So, but there are people out there that can afford to pay. So why not pay? Okay, I'm gonna give them the opportunity to do that. I've gotten paid subscribers. Okay, I'm not gonna say how many, but I really um, appreciate each and every one of those subscribers. And I want to see what else I can do to help you to grow as a result of your contribution and your faith in me. I want to be able to utilize my talents and skills in each of my paid subscribers. I'm going to reach out and like, hey, let's sit down and have a strategy session, figure out what it is that you want and how I can help you to achieve that. Okay, that is my role, and I want to be able to do that and to help to build this community to higher heights. Okay, we have so much things out there we have to deal with. Okay, so why not band together and figure out how can we support each other on higher levels? Okay, and then we can also, each and every one of you have your own community and Substack, and how you can take that back to your own, and how you can modify it to fit the people that you serve. Okay, so this is why I'm gonna have this ask me anything on Tuesdays, open office visits. So you guys can ask me any questions, make any comments, or any um through feedback. That's how we learn. I put out a survey maybe 6 months ago, but it had 12 questions. I didn't get any response but one. But what lesson did I learn from that is instead of asking 12, maybe ask three potent questions that you want answers to. Okay? Because you don't want to just be shooting just in the air. Okay, you want to have some idea on direction you want to go. Okay, so I came out with those daily reflections. I did that for about 3 months. I got bored with it, so I'm like, if I'm bored with it, they probably bored with it too. So before then I came up with the insights. Okay, so then I'm like, okay, so try to be forward thinking. Okay, now that the focus is on women, it's much easier. Then I have this monthly themes each month, and is a theme, and then you can tailor all the information around that theme. Okay, so everything is a process. I didn't know all these things at the beginning. Like I said, I came from government contracting. I knew nothing about community building. I know nothing about facilitating because I wasn't allowed to do that. Okay, so um, so whatever we can learn on our own, that's the better because these organizations do these things on purpose. They don't give you these additional skills to do, and then you can't even put it on your resume and said you did it. So now I'm doing all these things on my own. Okay, and you have to just give yourself grace. Just because I'm still learning video editing. Okay, and it's something that you have to, I just try not to take on too much at one time because then I can't be effective. So I'm like, okay, what is one new skill that I can learn today? You know, I say I'm at maybe 60% on video editing. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm much further along than I was before. Okay, I can take those skills over to my YouTube and work on my YouTube and fix that up too. So that's another thing. Just try not to overwhelm yourself trying to do too many things at one time. Okay. So I'm like, hey, I was on Facebook, IG, YouTube, Substack. Now I'm on Corners as well. And so I'm like, said LinkedIn, I hope. It's too much. I can't do all of that. So I'm like, okay, which ones that I think that I'm gonna get the best return on my investment? Okay, being a industrial and organizational psychologist who can work with individuals and teams. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna definitely stay on LinkedIn. Okay. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Okay. So do I need to be on IG and threads? No, I don't see any point of it. Okay. Um Substack, yeah. Now I'm on Corners. Now, YouTube. I'm gonna have to go back to my YouTube. That's it. I'm gonna cut out YouTube. I'm cutting out whatever goes to from Substack to Facebook. That's it. I'm eliminating IG and Threads. So we need to be intentional. Once we figure out who our target market is, where do they hang out? That's where we need to be. Okay, that's it. Substack, Corners, um, and YouTube. That's it. That's all I'm focusing on because that's more than enough. Because we still got to run the publication, and we still have a community that we're trying to build. Okay, so we need to give ourselves grace and understand that there's a lot of trials and error in a lot of things that we're doing. We just have to give ourselves grace and take it one step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay. And so, with all of these things in mind, we keep our mental, physical, and emotional well being intact because we need to lead by example, right? We cannot be everywhere and do everything for everybody, and we need to save time for ourselves. Okay, we got to be able to walk the walk, just not talk the talk. Okay. And so, do you guys have any questions at all? I didn't come up here to ramble. Okay. I wanted to be intentional. And A lot of you may not be where you want to be right now. That's okay. And neither was I. It took me almost a year to write my hero post. Okay. And I reached out to Veronica Lorca Smith, and she told me, Margaret, you can write this article. And when I wrote that first article, it catapulted me to where I am today, where I can sit up and talk to you by myself on this live and not have any issues with it. So regardless to wherever you are today, you may not be where you want to be. Um, Being in a community space, we can work together on these issues. We can help you. Maybe you would prefer to getting in front of a smaller group of people. Okay, maybe a group of 15 versus something like a live like this, and we can sit there and hold safe space for you, and where you can feel comfortable to be yourself. That's the whole point of building these communities. Okay, and then I thought, okay, well, we build this thing for paid subscribers. What about community? Because there's some people just want to come and talk about maybe the trauma that they've faced or they've been through, and they just want people to listen to that. Because a lot of people, when I look back, you have these AA meetings and shopping addictions or whatever you're facing. People just sit there and listen and hold safe space. But I said no, because I'm not a therapist. Okay. And what happened if somebody get triggered during one of those conversations, and how would I deal with that? So I'm like, no, that's not something I would want to take on, because that's kind of heavy. So each of us have to figure out what the community that we want to build looks like, and what are you willing to commit to, okay, before you put it out there in the world. So I say that part, I don't know, because even if I did do a community group like that, I would at least want to charge people $5 a month. Because if you don't charge people, how are you going to know that they're going to commit to it? Okay, because if it's free, people like, I don't think so. But if you charge people something, that shows if they pay, then they're going to be committed to it. You want to know that people are committed to growth. It's not just about one person, it's about collective growth and learning. Okay, and that's what people have to understand. Get out of the I mentality. Everybody like, what is it in it for me? And that's the thing. I work with teams my whole career. And that's why you want to know what the common goal and common interest is based on your values, okay, and your mission and your purpose. This is what brings people together. That's that anchor that brings you together. And then they'll say, oh, this is why I want to be a part of this, okay? Because not only am I getting something out, not only you get something in, so people have to get into the reciprocal mindset. Because when I finished with the coaching program, okay, as a certified coach, they wouldn't allow me to coach at work. Okay, so I had to figure it out. I'm like, okay, well, there's this coaching community, and the coaches, we coached each other, okay, weekly. And that's how I got over 500 hours of coaching through that program. We supported each other. Okay, I got these certification, and doing took the test. And so that's what we have to do here. We have to support each other. We have to know that nobody's going to come necessarily to save us. Okay, we have to save ourselves. How we do that? We use our internal and our external resources. Each and every one of you are a resource. You have skills, you have knowledge and experience. So how can we come together to utilize this? And that's why putting together this paid community, I mean, to offer this, let you know this paid community it exists, because a lot of you just subscribed for the paid service. um, like, you stepped out on faith, okay, to me. So I feel that I owe you more than what you're getting, and I want to make sure that you get that, okay? Because each and every one of you deserve that and more, and how I can help to bring that into fruition. And that is my legacy. Okay, rewriting every day. At the end of the day, I want to know that I made a difference in somebody's life, if it's just one person. And I'm sure each and every one of you feel the same way. So, how can we come together and how can we do that? So, all this is going to be laid out. I was talking to the young lady today who has this wonderful gift, because my gift is speaking and creating content. That's what I enjoy. Okay, I don't like all that paperwork and all that other stuff, but it's a necessary evil. And I just want you to know that I am grateful to each and every follower, paid and free subscriber, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear what you have to say and how you feel that I can improve, because that's what I'm all about. Okay. I don't want to be here. Okay, from where I was November 24 when I came here, I have grown exponentially. That's through all the trials and tribulations that I have been through, all the lessons that I have learned, all the betrayals that I have been through, my family and people that called them my friends. But I forgive them all, because I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be the strength that I am today without any of those things. And I am grateful. I'm grateful. So whatever you have to say to me, it won't be anything worse than what I've already heard or what I've already been called. So how can we create this community where we can grow exponentially together? That's all that I care about. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about being on the bestseller list. That means nothing. What means something to me is exponential growth for me and everybody that I serve. Okay? And that's all that matters to me. So do any of you guys have any questions? Any feedback whatsoever? You said what corners? Oh, Corners, it's a social network, okay? That's through Khalil Jazini. It's a different uh, social media site. Hello, Miss Hughes. So if any of you guys interested in going live, okay, you can contact me. I want to support you in your endeavors. Each and every one of you have uh, n- a lot of knowledge, a lot of skills. And if you decide, hey, I want to have a conversation, that way you can, share your gifts and talents with the world. And I'm always hitting people up in notes and like, hey, you want to have a conversation? It's because it gives you opportunity to show people who you are. This platform was built for that. You said you pulled your back yesterday. I just hope you feel better. Okay? I don't know if you need a heating pad. Sometimes heat is good, and then sometimes they say uh, cold is better. So I don't know. Just take care of yourself. Okay? Yeah, I was talking about this community, and that's important for me about building this community and what that looks like. So um we only have so many hours in a day, so I'm like, okay, I have to say something to my community every day. That's a given, because notes is not my community. It is, but it isn't. Okay, so I try to figure out how I can best serve my community, and try to do other things as well. Okay, so if you have any questions, any concerns at all, please don't hesitate to ask, because I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect, I tell you. And if I make a mistake, I'll admit it, and I'll say, hey, I made the mistake. I'll own it. And how can I change? And that's all we can do. What lessons can we learn from that and move on? Don't beat yourself up. So that's basically all I had to say today. And thank you so much. And like I said, Tuesdays, I'm going to make sure to have office hours for anybody want to ask any questions, comments, or concerns. I'm here for you. Okay. And I appreciate your support sincerely. Thank you all so much. And if you guys don't have any questions, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.